one of us. Google gobble, one of us. We accept them, one of us. Google gobble, one of us. We accept them, one of us.
The fifth and final origin has been revealed by Paradox for the new Stellaris Overlord DLC, and that is the Progenitor Hive origin. Progenitor Hive is an origin only for hive-minded empires. It basically reads as follows. This hive has gained evolutionary advantage through semi-independent leaders. These offspring greatly improve overall proficiency, though they require constant oversight. But what does that mean? What do we really get out of this origin? Well, let's dive in and find out the details. First, your leaders will be special offspring leaders. They will then gain XP passively. That means you don't have to do anything with them. You don't even have to employ them in a role or in anything of any sort, and they'll simply tick up XP over time. That should make it easier to get to the higher levels of XP, of experience, as the game goes on. And unlike machine empires, your leaders are not immortal. They are going to die of old age at some point, so this will make it better and easier to get to those higher experience levels. Overall, it's not that massive a bonus, I don't think, but it is definitely nice. Being an offspring leader doesn't seem to represent a specific trait on the leader either, so I believe this is all leaders in your empire will gain this passive XP effect. Progenitor hive minds will also replace their spawning pools with offspring nests. Now, spawning pools is a building that will give you one spawning drone job. That job provides 5 amenities and 2 monthly organic pop assembly. So it is definitely a nice building to put down on your hives. But what does this new offspring nest do instead? Well, it grants a powerful defensive army and improvements to your menial drones, whilst still providing those juicy +5 amenities and +2 monthly pop assembly. You may also construct one of these offspring nests on your subject worlds. And if you're enjoying this video, please semi-independently press that like button. We also have a very interesting effect in that you can construct offspring ships. These will improve the combat effectiveness of other nearby ships, I believe in the same fleets, and fleets without an offspring ship suffer from the following effects: minus 50% sublight speed, minus 50% evasion, minus 50% ship fire rate, and minus 50% accuracy. So when you construct your offspring ships, you basically have a capacity for these ships, an empire-wide capacity. I believe that capacity is increased by building more offspring nests, but it is not explicitly stated in the reveal so far, so we actually don't know. Offspring ship capacity functions in a very, very similar way, I believe, to naval capacity, except you won't be able to go over this capacity. As you can see from the screenshot here, they've reached the limit of their corvette-sized offspring ship capacity. We also don't know how much of a bonus you're going to get for having these offspring ships in your fleet, but if you don't have them, your fleets will be so massively crippled, there will almost be no point in using them. So I believe what's going on here, you're going to have a few offspring ships sprinkled in amongst your fleet, and you'll have mostly regular ships with some of these offspring ships, and as a combat goes on, you may lose the offspring ships, and if you lose the wrong ships at the wrong time, that will severely hamper the overall combat efficiency of your ships. Whilst the cap for building these offspring ships is going to be something like a crew mechanic basically here. We've kind of got a mechanic now, it looks like, where we need to increase the capacity, the number of offspring crews we can have, and therefore we'll get more ships or more offspring ships based on that, which will increase the effectiveness of our ships and stop them turning into dog poo. But what do you think of this brand new origin? Let me know down in the comments below. But there is one more very, very interesting thing I have yet not mentioned, and that is that there is also a Starbase building called Offspring Nests. I don't believe that having an offspring nest on a starbase will negate the penalty for one of your fleets not having an offspring ship in that fleet. However, the bonuses it gives are truly astronomical. Where before we were getting minus 50% for not having an offspring ship, now by having one of these modules or buildings in a system, you're going to get plus 65% ship speed, plus 65% evasion, plus 65% ship fire rate, and plus 65% accuracy. If you make sure all of your fleets do contain Offspring ships and therefore get a slight bonus for that, and you don't lose any Offspring ships, this will be an absolutely ludicrous bonus for your ships. Your systems will become impregnable fortresses as long as you can keep the right Offspring crews around, and it's actually wild how big a bonus you are getting here. If you don't manage to get any Offspring ships, you will only be getting a net of plus 15% to all of those different stats, but even then, that's still really nice. This looks to me like Progenitor Hive will be a very, very defensive hive. If you can get a 65% plus bonus to all of your ships when defending in the early game, this will completely change the multiplayer meta, as Hivemind is one of the most powerful Empire types at the moment. By adding in Progenitor Hive, we negate the negative effects of Hivemind builds, which do take some time to get going compared to other faster builds like Void Dwellers, but they will be able to ramp up economy, safe in the knowledge that if anyone tries to attack them, they will be robustly defending themselves. This origin gets a fantastic plus 10% bonus to menial drone output if you build the Offspring nest building, and that extra bonus would stack really well with Aquatic. If you'd like to know more about the Aquatic trait and why it's completely overpowered, click the video on screen now.